There's an app. It's called Runpee, and it's exactly what you might think it is. It tells you when you should run and pee during the movie. Would you guys use Runpee? This could be self-defeating if everybody starts using it, right?
I'm wondering, do they just do it strictly time-based, or do they say, okay, when this character says this?
Former Twitter head of trust and safety, Yoel Roth, is now the head of trust for the Match Group.
I feel like Elon Musk just assumes that everyone he doesn't like is an evil person.
This week I have two stories. I'm producer Dave. I'm the producer, a co-producer, I suppose, of the show and the producer of all the stuff at Echoplex Media. Hit up our website, echoplexmedia.com. Read my recent blog post. It has nothing to do with anything we're talking about today, but you should read it. My first story is about movies, which is weird because I don't talk about movies. But there's an app. It's called Runpee. And it's exactly what you might think it is. It tells you when you should run and pee during the movie. So what it does is they've figured out the points during the movie when there are things that aren't so important to the plot. And then if it has access to the exact movie start time and whatnot, as you can see here on the overlay, it tells you when you can pee next and then when you can pee after that. And I think this is especially important or interesting as more and more movie theaters are serving beer. Would you guys use Runpee?
Absolutely. Like, movies have gotten so long recently. It used to be like a movie was an hour and a half, and now there are so many movies that are like almost or even cross the border of 3 hours.
Yeah. I feel like based on your description, what the gaps that they're showing are, the annoying things like character development sections of the movie. Stuff like that, It
could be that, or like a dance montage or something, depending on what kind of movie it is.
Yeah, but I suspect they're going to be like, they're going to have you stay for that because it's action sequence or something.
Huh.
I don't know. I haven't looked at this directly, so I don't know exactly what they're saying. What sections they can say you can go pee at or whatever. I just don't get a drink when I'm at the movie theater or anything, and dehydrate myself a little bit so I don't have to, so I can last the whole movie.
This could be self-defeating if everybody starts using it, right? Because then, right when the whole theater gets up and tries to use the bathroom at the same time.
Yeah.
And so now you're waiting. So now your pee window, you're well beyond your pee window.
I'm wondering, do they just do it strictly time-based, or do they say, okay, when this character says this, you can now go pee or something like that? So you can actually watch the movie and look for these moments.
So what we saw on the screen, it looked like they have a time thing, but I'm assuming you can click in it, because it's not going to always be 100% accurate, right? Sometimes the previews run longer or whatever, so it may tell you what happens prior or whatever. It's a funny idea. I think it's gimmicky. I don't think anybody's really going to use it. I bet it just asks you for just the most permissions. It probably wants you to take a picture of yourself peeing too. It's probably very, very intrusive.
Yeah.
I think we should just bring back the concept of intermissions, please. Can we do that?
Some of these longer movies definitely should.
If a movie's over 2 hours, why not just have an intermission?
Plus, you get to mingle. Intermission makes the movie like a social experience where you can hang out for 15 minutes and maybe meet other moviegoers in the lobby.
Yeah, and they'd sell more concessions.
Yeah, so you'd have to pee again.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more story this week. Former Twitter head of trust and safety, Yoel Roth, is now the head of trust for the Match Group. I think everybody knows what the Match Group is, right? It's a conglomerate that runs all your dating apps. Most popular, of course, being Tinder. And Yoel Roth left Twitter rather famously after Elon Musk took over. And shortly after leaving Twitter, Elon Musk was boosting posts that suggest that Yoel Roth was a groomer, as they would say, because he's some of his work in academia was talking about essentially that we all know that people underage are going to use apps like Grindr, and that the companies that run apps like Grindr need to do things to mitigate that or keep those people safe on the app. Do any of you? I doubt either of you are using any of the Match Group stuff.
I'm not, but it sounds to me like he's the opposite of a groomer.
Yes,
Yeah, how does that follow that he was complaining that the underage people were using these apps, and so those apps should do more to keep them out? How does that make somebody a groomer? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, in an academic paper, you could just take a few sentences out of context, right? And make it.
I guess so.
I feel like Elon Musk just assumes that everyone he doesn't like is an evil person.
That could be true. That could be true. But I'm glad this guy landed, actually, because his work in academia was about dating apps. And so it seems like he landed after, I don't know what he was doing. I think he was working in academia again, but he landed in the right place because that's where his other work was. And, we'll see how it goes. I don't use the Match Group stuff because they don't own Grindr. And Grindr is superior technology.
Yeah, I think Match owns a lot of different dating type apps.
Oh yeah, yeah. They own the big one is Tinder, but they also obviously Match.com, and I think they do plenty of Fish. The list goes on and on and on. I looked it up before this, and I was like, this list is too long. I'm not gonna try to read any portion of this gigantic list yet. But they scooped up like OkCupid and all this other stuff. So they're the big one. I guess
it sounds to me like they need to be broken up.
Sure. Well, I wonder how many people have broken up with somebody over one of these services. Like if you go on to Tinder to break up with, I don't even know how that would work. I guess you could break up with somebody on Grindr because there's robust messaging in there. I just have no idea how Tinder works. I figure Tinder is just full of the thirsty gays that aren't on Grindr anymore.
That has been How the Tech Are You? This is our weekly show we put out in segments on YouTube, and we also put it out as a podcast, which you can find at echoplexmedia.com, along with all our other podcasts. You can also support us at patreon.com/echoplex and eplex.store. Remember to like and subscribe, and another video for you will be right up on the screen right here. Have a great tech and week.